And we're back again for He Lived, Heaven's live video devotional. Tonight, the word on the street comes to us from the book of Mark. Let's see what Mark has to say to us. In the first chapter, we're going to read verses 22 to 26. All right, let's see what we've got today. And they were astonished at his doctrine, for he taught them as one that had authority, and not as the scribes. And there was one in the synagogue, a man with an unclean spirit, and he cried out, saying, Let us alone. What have we to do with thee, thou Jesus of Nazareth? Art thou come to destroy us? I know thee who thou art, the Holy One of God. And Jesus rebuked him, saying, Hold thy peace, and come out of him. And when the unclean spirit had torn him, and cried with a loud voice, he came out of him. Now, there are two things that just strike me initially as I read this passage. One, it says that they were astonished at his doctrines, for he taught them as one that had authority. Now, what in the world does that mean? Now, today, in this world, when we think of people who have authority, we look at them as maybe the politicians or, the people at your schools or your boss. But God was here teaching them as one who had authority. He taught them, possibly saying, just the other day I was up in a mountain and I said these words, and I said, Blessed are the poor in heart, and, blessed are the meek, and so on and so forth. Or maybe he said, just the other day there was a woman with an issue of blood and she touched me and was healed. Or, there was a guy who was dead and I said, come forth, and he was alive. Or there was a little storm and I decided to take a walk on the water. But nonetheless, he taught them in a way that was uncharacteristic to the way they'd normally been taught. He taught them because not only was he the one that they were teaching them about, but you were getting it from the man himself. The professor of the course was the originator of this ideology. So Jesus, the person to whom your salvation was bought by, is teaching you by his own mouth. And so that's key here, because that authority is critical. But while he's teaching them, the story, or the lens of the story, changes to a man with an unclean spirit. And what's interesting about this is that Jesus didn't say anything to the unclean spirit. The unclean spirit spoke to him first. It says, Let us alone. What have we to do with thee, thou Jesus of Nazareth? The unclean spirit recognized the power, the majesty of Jesus Christ himself. And they were so afraid that they said, Please, don't disturb us. What have you to do with us? Are you here to kill us or cast us out? Now, Satan in this world tries to attack us, but when we're so wrapped up in God, he trembles. Satan is scared. He gets shook at the presence of God. And likewise, when you are in tune with God, Satan can't hold on to you. Satan has no control over you when God has control of your life. And so I encourage you today to allow God into your heart. Allow him into your life. Allow him to take charge. And Satan will not have any hold on you. Things might get difficult, but God's got your back. Because here, not only did the demon or the unclean spirit recognize Jesus Christ as Jesus, the Jesus of Nazareth and the Savior, but it said, Are you come to destroy us? Because Satan knows that his time is short. He knows that there will be an end. And likewise, you need to know that this pain or whatever you're going through will not last forever. And with 8 simple words, Jesus cast out that unclean spirit. He said, Hold thy peace. Basically, shut up and come up out of this man. Isn't that power? That's powerful. Jesus himself spoke 8 words and bam, just like that, Satan had no more power over this man. In your life, the same can be true if you just allow God to have full reign of who you are and your very being. Whatever crevices or whatever holes or hold Satan has on you has to be let go. Because in the presence of the Holy One, Satan trembles with fear because he knows that his end is short. Today, it's all up to you. Will you let him in? I hope the answer to that is yes. Well, until next time, I'll see you, and God bless. Peace. How great
is our God.